ain't your living room. Take that
Oh,
off the
okay,
couch.
so you gonna wait till the camera
Take
come
that-
on and
take
you
that
start acting
shift
up.
off the couch.
Like I want to slap you down like I did outside before we just walked in here.
Hey,
It's very quickly.
I'll beat your ass.
You forget very quickly.
I'll beat your ass.
You forget very quickly.
I'll beat your ass.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is out here.
Okay.
Shout out to the sponsors. Are we live on Facebook too?
Not yet. Just about.
Apologize for the tardiness. Family emergencies. So we're here now. And
I'm in the
anybody
right
that
channel.
has
I
a
just
problem with it,
double-checked.
if you have a problem with it, you can slap yourself with your own drumstick. That's
Wow.
what it is out here in these streets.
You're very angry today.
Well, we know they're not using their sticks to practice, so you might as well do something useful with your drumstick.
Oh, well, here's the thing.
Slap yourself.
We have 5 people on the live already, and we only
That's
have
good.
1 like.
Well, that's mathematics. Have you guys passed math? What grade level did
What's
they
up,
stop at?
Ashton Nelson? He says you know what it is, and it's because he knows.
Shout out to
what it
to
is.
you, Ashton.
We are live on
is
Facebook.
Live. Shout out to the app, Drum Tracks app. Download the app now. Don't waste any time.
You know what it is.
Tracks
Listen,
are still free to stream.
that part.
But if you want video access, sign up for the premium membership. $10 a month, $100 a year, saves you 2 months every year if you do that. What's the update on the iOS user situation?
The update is we're still doing some testing. We're still working some things out. It's how it is when you're running this tech, man.
It'll be ready by 2020, you guys.
What we're talking about is the automated subscriptions where you don't have to re-sign up, where it just does it automatically for you every month. Right now on iOS, if you sign up, you pay for the first month, it will give you access for 30 days. After that, you will have to repay again to get access the next month. The recurring payments are coming. I'm estimating that it's going to be another 2 weeks, but we'll see. Watch what, the podcast?
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe I can see
Just keep the volume down. Yeah,
it's all the way down. Shout out to Ashton Nelson. You already said that. Shout out to Dustin Walker. Ryan was good. Charles Gray.
You know what it is.
We see you. We out here. I only see 3 on YouTube. Anybody on Facebook that you want to shout out?
Let's take a peek. On Facebook, we got Jabushis Lamar Jackson. What's up, fam? What is good?
We're here. All right.
Yep.
7 people on YouTube. And how many likes? Not 7. That's the answer. So also, can you guys hear us? Forgot to ask.
That is a good question. Yes. Can you hear us before we get into this podcast deep into
And we
it?
forgot to introduce ourselves. 1,000 apologies. But if you have been rocking with us, you know what it is. And if you
We got
haven't been
somebody, the
rocking
drum
with us-
coach. I'm Damani.
If you haven't been rocking with us, you still know what it is.
Nah, they do now because I just told them who we are. We are
Shout out
the
to Ivan.
founders of the Drum Tracks app and all the lessons, the drum coaches and all that. It's all
Shout
wrapped into the Drum Tracks
Shout
app.
out
now.
to Rohan from Jamaica.
You got to stop. You got to let that go.
I was wrong.
That
I think he wants it on the shirt.
How do you spell it? Spell what you just did.
Jamaica.
No. You didn't do that. You said Jamaica.
Right, so
You need help, bro.
JAMA.
So, but how do you
CA.
There's no R in Jamaica.
Okay, TH, because DA. That's what it is. Like DEDE. Remember DDDD?
I've definitely had enough of this.
Do you remember
already.
that? Do you remember like?
Yeah, I do.
Ha!
I remember.
The oil is all over you.
Emmanuel Eugene on Facebook says he can't hear us, so that's awesome.
Blake the Great is in the building. Rohan, I already said that. My bad. Ivan Heredia. I didn't say your last name, Ivan. Heredia. Ive, what's good, man? We see y'all. Y'all in here. 13 people. I need to see 13 likes. Facebook. I mean, y'all not really fooling with us today, but it's okay.
Right.
Hit the like button anyway. Because
Right.
you know what it is out here.
Period.
All right, so on today's topic, it's actually you are leading the discussion.
Yes.
I'm not checking text messages if you're watching.
He's watching the live.
I'm watching the live.
Okay.
Forget the laptop stuff.
So the funny thing happened, man, this week.
Did it?
Yeah, I ended up.
You ended up on those other sites, huh?
Not this week. This guy. Anyway.
He's playing pocket pool.
Wow. No, I just play pocket.
With Pinky or Cherokee.
I have no idea who these people are. I've never met them.
Go ahead, bro.
Anyway, so being that time is passing by, and we used to be the musicians who were the young guys in the scene, like super young, like 18, 19, 20 years old. And we're not those guys anymore, right? we see now the new 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, up to 25-year-olds. And, you know, if you're on social media at all, I mean, I follow these guys. I'm talking about the guys in our local area in the scene, right?
Yeah.
I follow these guys because some of them are really talented. They're coming up, dope musicians. We actually have some guys that are coming up that are really good, and they're doing things like writing their own music and trying to perform their own stuff as well, and they're practicing. You could just tell, and I love it. I love
some.
Yeah, some. There's
some.
Yeah.
Few and far between.
Wow. So I'm focusing on those who do, right?
Okay. All 2 of you.
It's more than 2. There might be like 5. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's a lot coming though from where we're coming from. That's a lot. So, watching them and seeing them as they're progressing in their music is great. But on the other hand, I can see how they don't see the game clearly in terms of reaching the goals that they are trying to reach, and getting paid the money that they want to get paid, having people come to the shows that, you know, whatever they're trying to do, and they post things and they say things online, and it reveals an attitude of entitlement that I'm not going to even say we didn't have. I think that we had at that age some of it, but it wasn't really entitlement. It was just ignorance of how the game works.
Well, according to our prelate and Archbishop Stephen Matthew Green,
Wow,
you got to pay your dues.
I mean, that's facts. There is due paying. There is due paying.
So there ain't no entitlement until you're at least 27.
But even at that point, you got to earn wherever you're trying to get to, right? So a lot of guys are upset about the amount that there'll be that clubs or small venues or wherever restaurants will pay their band to come perform.
Oh, this is a whole musician. It's not just drummers. We're talking everybody.
We're talking everybody.
Okay.
Just musicians, but drummers will benefit from this because drummers just happen to be musicians, and you guys are playing gigs on your local scene. Or
restaurants and clubs is where drummers get paid equal. It's in church where they get paid pennies.
It's true.
So,
well,
if you're not
pennies,
a drummer and you're complaining about pennies outside of church.
Pennies compared to church, but the thing that church gives
you have no argument with me.
No, what I'm saying, you are
will
hurt.
Not win.
You are hurt.
You will not
win.
The
thing that church gives you that a lot of these,
and you don't carry gear.
You don't carry gear to church either.
No, it doesn't matter.
So what are you talking? That last point was
at the clubs. We carry the most gear.
You do carry gear at the clubs.
The most.
Well, it depends. Now, listen, when you start showing up, when you stop showing up to professional gigs with a sound percussion kit, okay? Yeah, this is what your drum coach does. He shows up to gigs with a sound percussion kit. He don't even bring the full kit either. He'll bring a kick and a floor tom, maybe a rack tom, maybe.
Pocket pays the bills.
and talk about he's carrying the most gear.
Pocket pays the bills.
Listen, you break down in 3 seconds. You load it up in your car, and you be on.
You talk about that one rehearsal when I showed up to it with a first act kit with the kick snare hats.
Yeah, even worse. First act, you're not making it any better. Woo! You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Showed up to play 4 on the floor, and they was mad I didn't bring a full kit.
You ought to be
Every
ashamed
song
of
was
yourself.
4 on the floor.
It was a representation of the effort that you were putting towards that gig.
Listen, I haven't had time, guys. I haven't had time to bring in the sound percussion and record it, but it will be recorded, and you guys are going to be like, what? That's a sound percussion? Yeah. Turn your mother phone off.
First of all, watch your mouth.
I didn't say nothing, but
because I'll turn you off.
You know what?
Period.
Turn your father mucking phone off.
There you go. Back with that.
Like the Gray said, sound percussion? You know what it is, bro.
Listen.
He said, he said, I bet you brung ZBTs or B8s to that gig. Nope.
He brought AAXs and they were cracked. No. Let me tell you what's going on.
No, it wasn't.
This guy was, listen, bro.
What's up, Emmanuel?
He was
Richardson.
You guys remember those symbols that were called camber symbols? Do you guys remember those? The cambers?
And the Zildjian scimitar. I had some, bro.
Our church had the scimitars. We had the scimitar hi-hats. And when our crash cymbals broke, the church didn't buy us any new cymbals, so we just used the top hat as the crash.
This is why drummers everywhere are struggling to up their gear.
Listen, let's get back to what I was saying though. At the end of the day, I saw a post on Facebook the other day of one of the young Sac homies, and he's actually a dope musician. He's dope. But he wasn't the first one. There's many of them that complain, like, man, it's hard to get paid out. Basically, I'm not saying the post verbatim, but the essence of it is hard to get paid out here. And people wonder why musicians leave here and go somewhere else, right?
Just talking about the area.
Just talking about, the area.
Even though in other areas people still get paid pennies.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
That's the point, though.
Okay.
And so but at the end of the day, I always try to have a lot of respect for these guys because they're young musicians. I was a young musician, and a lot of times young musicians are not respected. And they, what I mean by not respected, they're not respected as a human being, as an adult. They're looked at as 10-year-old children to the older musicians who are always just trying to sun them. But we forget that we were them, right? So
I don't think we complained about club pay though. But go ahead.
No, we didn't. However, I understand. And I told him, I said in the post, I wrote to him, I was like, yo, it's totally fine if you want to move to somewhere else because you think that moving to somewhere else will actually make you more money. But let me let you know that it's usually not the case. I know people who have moved from here to Nashville. I know people who have moved from here to LA or to New York, and they end up on the local scene playing gigs that pay them the same that they were getting here. I said, I know people who left SAC and went to LA or wherever and are playing abroad now with artists, maybe not top A-list artists, but still, if you're playing with an artist that's flying you to, I don't know, South Africa, New York, Europe, wherever, they're playing abroad. And they're making the same as some of the musicians who are playing cover band, here.
Right at the house.
Now, I'm not saying that, and I told him that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't move.
It's quiet.
Because it's true that it's more likely that you'll get a gig that plays abroad living somewhere other than here. I 100% agree with that. But if you think that moving somewhere else will make it more likely that you will get paid more than you're getting paid here right now, it's just usually not the case.
No, sir.
Sometimes it is, but it's usually not. And so the attitude, though, is that they can't, well, if I move, it'll be easier. And it's like, no, you can actually build what you're trying to build here, and it'd be good because if you learn the skills of building it here, wherever you go, you can build.
Right.
Because you know how to build. And so one of the things, this is for all my musicians out here who are watching this podcast who play in a band or want to play in a band. Because we push a lot of creativity. We push a lot of doing your thing and going out and doing you. And sometimes we'll say things like, oh, but it may not pay well. But hey, playing for other people don't pay well all the time either.
And I also push quit drums.
But nobody's listening to him.
If you do that, you won't have to worry about not getting paid. Just quit
drums.
Quit drums.
Pretty soon you're going to tell people to quit their jobs, to quit life.
Why not? It's over, bro. We didn't make it. You might as well just call it, family.
No, at the end of the day, we push that creativity. We push talking about building your own thing, doing your own thing as a musician, and you don't have to depend on playing a gig because that's a temp job majority of the time. And hey, if that's what your dream is, that your goal is, go for it. But I'm telling you, I know a lot of guys who are out there playing, and their real dream is to have their own band and for them to be the artist. So if you're a musician who wants to be an artist and you're trying to play gigs with your band, the number one thing that you should not be worried about is what you're getting paid right now. The number one thing that you should be worried about is building your asset that will pay you. And that asset that will pay you is called a fan base.
It's quiet.
And
how do you obtain a fan base if you're in a small town, sir?
Well, there's this thing. It was invented a while ago now.
1800s?
No, but I think it was invented in like the 1980s. But it didn't really get popular until the 1990s, but it really blew up in the 2000s. And now it's just like everywhere. Like
what
people
is
don't
that?
even.
The newspaper.
No, but it's similar.
Okay.
It's the internet.
Ah,
That's what it is.
Well, how much does it cost to be able to put your stuff out there like that?
Well, it doesn't really cost anything to upload it. However, if you want it seen, there could be a cost if you're trying to accelerate. But at the end of the day, you got to invest in yourself. There's nothing wrong with investing in yourself. What you want to do is you want to build a fan base. You could do that locally. You don't even have to do it on the internet if you don't want to, even though the internet's a really good place to start.
So therefore, when they move, people actually recognize who they are.
Already know. Listen,
wow,
it's actually easier for you to get a gig somewhere else if they know who you are somewhere else already. And the internet's a good place to do that. I mean, I know it just sounds intuitive and it sounds like this is just common sense, but for some reason, a lot of us don't know that. For some reason, we think because
people post their feelings in words instead of their actual music.
Man, isn't that something?
You have the time to post what's on your mind and on your heart.
But your music though, where is it?
Your music is just
and
chilling.
And the thing is, sometimes we think that just because we made something, that people should care.
It's quiet.
And that's not always the case.
Like the way you don't care about Michael Jackson singing. It's a similar thing. But let's not bring that up. Let's just keep moving on with the podcast. Let's stay on point.
Well,
don't digress.
Here's the thing. I'm not digressing. But it's almost you have to know your own self-worth the way that I know Michael Jackson is a legend. And so it doesn't matter what other people say to try to sway you or to try to shift the narrative.
Buddy,
you know your truth.
You hate the man singing.
Michael Jackson is a legend, and his singing is legendary.
We have a singer here.
We do have a singer here,
and she will tell you the truth
about how she feels about Michael Jackson.
How you think about his singing.
I can tell you. I don't need anybody else to tell you how I feel about Michael Jackson singing. Ask me, and I'll tell you.
She knows you better than you know yourself.
It's not true.
That is very true.
Listen,
and when it comes to what you think of singing, she definitely knows.
I think Michael Jackson's a legend. I think Michael Jackson's singing is legendary.
Okay.
It was part of legendary music.
And now you're digressing.
I'm not.
Off topic.
You're digressing.
What does he think of Michael Jackson singing? She shook her head and gave the fizz face that it's that bad. She's like
no,
bad. You know what I mean?
That's not true.
Not like the musician face of like, wow, killing. No. She shook her head. No.
You can't even prove any of this.
I can.
See, Marcus Kemp, he sees in the comments where he says Michael Jackson singing is legendary. See, he knows what it is. It's listen.
And Dorama the drummer says you don't like the sound of his voice, Brody. He said it straight up.
Listen, to you and Dorama the drummer, I say, get thee behind me, Satan. But what about his singing, though? That's what Ivan says. Listen, his singing is legendary. How many times must I say that? I don't understand the fascination that you guys have, and I think Styx has done it to you. But you don't have to live that life. You don't have to go the route that Styx has gone down. Trust me. You don't want to go down that path.
Oh, wait, go over. Shout out to Chris Wright. Shout out to T-Drum21. We see you. Marcus Kemp, we see you. Jacque Dixon says Styx just needs to buy one of those cocktail kits where the whole kit is basically a floor tom. LOL. He's talking about that from the sound percussion.
Well, I mean, he would probably do it if the brand name said First Action or Sound Percussion. But if it was DW or Pearl or Yamaha, to him that's too high quality for the gigs he plays. That's how much he disrespects the gigs that he plays.
Wait till y'all hear my sound. I got two of them. Wait till you hear my black sound percussion kit.
Sure, after he sends me the files.
I'm not sending you nothing. I'm recording it into my joint, and I'm playing that joint. And you're gonna be like, yo, wow. I'm gonna play to the since it's a rock-ish kit, I'm gonna play to the rock play along. That's what I'm doing.
So let's we're not gonna digress anymore. We'll believe it when we see it. But I want to
shock you.
I want to get back to it. At the end of the day, the point is, yo, whatever you guys want, if you want to get paid as a drummer and you're trying to get gigs and you feel like no one's giving you the opportunity, no one's calling you for the gig, if you sit around and do nothing and wait for the call and it doesn't come, it is 100% your fault that you're sitting at home, because you don't have to. You can do your own gig. You can start playing with musicians and putting your own self out there and promoting your own stuff.
Whoa, you're talking about actual work. What is wrong with you? Have you lost your mind?
Well, hey, at the end of the day, if you don't want to go get it, that's fine. If that's not what you want to do.
Brody.
But you also should not be complaining It's quiet. I'm not gonna get
Brody,
any
they
help.
barely even practice.
I'm not. I'm talking to the musicians who want to be artists. You gotta tell these people the truth.
If you don't even put in the time to get better at your craft, not just natural talent. 'cause
I
some
mean,
people are natural
if
talented,
you're the guy that's not putting time in to get better at your
which is
craft,
98% of the people watching this podcast.
wow. So that's how you feel about our audience.
Listen, 98% is not practicing. You know it. Okay.
Okay, let's take a poll. How many of you guys are practicing?
How many guys are practicing? No. Say it right. How many people are working on things that you are not good at? That's what practice is. Not rehearsing what you can already play.
Come on, it's
But
quiet.
working on things you are terrible at. I'm terrible at playing 11/8, so I practice 11/8. I'm terrible at playing independence while keeping independence while playing drum fills. I'm terrible at groove that has a lot of syncopation in there. Nobody's doing that. People are working on what they know how to do already, and that's not practice. That's rehearsing, rehearing what you can already play.
Yeah, we know that.
So we're taking a poll. You see how the comments ain't really, you know what I mean? It ain't
Well,
coming in
Christopher
now.
Field says he just got done. Blake Great says on a pad. And Ashton Nelson says left hand. And Jazz the drummer says working on hand speed right now. Hopefully it's with the shed camp inside the Drum Tracks app because that's the best way to do it. But yes, we are talking about work. We're talking about you getting what you want because you want it. You can go get it. That's my whole point for today. Yo, if you want something,
What did anybody say anything on Facebook as far as that poll?
um,
Shout out to Willie Smooth Cat.
JJ McGee says, or JJ McGee,
Okay.
says people don't know the difference between practice and rehearsal. I mean, we just explained it. Practicing is actually working on what you're not already good at, trying to get better at what you don't already know how to do. Rehearsing is when you're playing stuff that you already know.
Which you do need to rehearse. That is
Yeah.
a thing you need to do.
Ain't nothing wrong with
But
rehearsal.
most people are just rehearsing.
And you're not practicing, which means that you are only solidifying what you already know, and you're not getting better at anything else.
And when it comes to putting your music or your band out there on the internet, or even yourself on the internet,
Come on.
you are not doing what you have already been doing. Okay? Or no, you're doing what you've already been doing. You're not doing something new, something different to get yourself out there.
Come on.
It's like, hey, just sitting there and posting random stuff that have nothing to do with your music or your craft or your art, it doesn't help people know that you're good at what you do. It doesn't help people know that you have a band. Doesn't let people know that you have an album. Some people don't have albums. Some people have songs.
Maybe we
But
should do.
we don't know
We
that
should.
you
Yeah,
have
go
wrote a
ahead.
song or performed a song or anything, or even just live performances. You can put
Right.
up an iPhone. iPhone does decent sound quality at a live.
But why do
gig.
you think they don't do that? I think that some of them may not do that because they feel like if they post something that it may only get like 15 likes and then they're gonna be ashamed.
Oh my gosh, bro!
But we already had a podcast that said
It said F the numbers.
F the numbers. However, I think it may be worth talking about again, and we actually might be able to get into the weeds a little bit about certain things that drummers can do to help build their social media brand. I don't know. That may be something.
I think that if you have a band, it's a lot easier because
it's not just about drums.
it's not just about drums.
Right.
And you don't have to do all the work. Where it's like, hey, maybe there's a song that's written that's just bass and guitar, and you can have them post that video out and whoop de wop or whatever. Or maybe there's a piano and vocal situation that's happening where it's like, yo, but it's benefiting the whole band. You okay?
Emmanuel said, "I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says drummer for hire with my phone number on the back." That's a good idea, bro. Oh, the next step would be to
Wow.
get your car wrapped.
Get your car wrapped. Drummer for hire,
Drummer
bro.
for hire with your number on.
Like, fam.
Oh, that's a good one, bro.
Yeah, that's fire.
That is a good one.
That's fire. We'll actually get it and put our email on there. That's it.
I learned my music for the week. Some of the gospel music I have to learn
You gotta
does
say who's
require me
saying
to push myself, but I have not truly practiced in a while, honestly. That's Jacquees Dixon.
Right.
So I guess you guys are proving sticks right and saying that you don't practice. Well, listen, this is, and for those of you who don't know what to practice, and you feel like, man, I don't know exactly what I want to be working. Like, listen, log into the app, start there.
Christopher Field says, I definitely like to get a podcast / class about building your brand on social media. I mean, we could spend 30 minutes talking about it, or we could say it within 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that we'll need to spend 30 minutes talking about it. Auntie Sheila's on here. She says every day she uses our practice guidance, and she said the shed camp structure works for her.
She's a part of the 2%.
Emmanuel Eugene, He says the shed camp is very helpful for this.
He's part of the 2%.
And it's
We have 20-something thousand users on YouTube.
you mean
On YouTube,
subscribers on YouTube.
subscribers. My
Yes.
bad, users. My bad. I said
I
users.
mean it's the app talk. We have
20,000.
but on the app it's actually like
over 20,000.
45,000
Right.
registered
And
around there.
We had 8 comments say that they practice. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like family, 2% actually practice.
Wow.
And it's okay. It's not a bad thing.
We gotta-
gotta be real.
we gotta do
with
that.
ourselves.
We should do a video.
I got
We
one.
should do a video
It ain't in your heart.
and
You don't really want this.
we should run an ad, like run a video, tell people at the beginning of it. It should start off with, you and I both know you're not practicing. Like it should start off with that. You and I both know you're not practicing.
Listen, we could talk to each other until we're blue in the face. Let's not lie to each other. Okay? Let's not lie to ourselves.
We know you're not practicing. This is exactly why you're not getting better. Like if you think you're practicing, do you even, you know what? I don't even think you know what practice is. Do you know what practice is?
Nope.
We can kind of go in. And then, I mean, because at the end of the day, that's what we're offering in the app. We're showing people, first of all, what we're really trying to do is get people to find their own voice and establish their own creativity. But you can't do that if you don't practice.
Man.
That's literally where the creative juices happen. Like there's a book that I read called The War of Art. Not the art of war,
Glory.
but the war of art. My God,
Praise.
on today, I feel something happening in this place.
Your mic turn on the organ. Doc.
But in that book, it talked about how the job of the creative is to sit down. And if you're a writer, you sit down and you write every day. If you are a musician, you sit down and you play. But if you're a composer, you sit down and you write a melody, you write something every day. And at a certain point, the creativity unlocks. That's how it unlocks. He said in his book that he asked a writer, there was a writer who wrote a bunch of screenplays, movies, books, and stuff like that. And they said, hey, man, do you write when you're inspired? Or do you write all the time? Like, how do you use your process? He goes, oh, I only write when I'm inspired, but inspiration just happens to be at 9 a.m. every morning.
Okay. All right.
In other words, he sits down, routine, and then he sits down, he does the work, and he hopes that the magic happens. And sometimes it doesn't. But then sometimes it does. So, I mean, there's that. But, I mean, we kind of veered off a little bit because you guys just, like, we did a quick poll and you proved that you don't practice. That's crazy.
Sam Campbell says, I know the Inspired Chops on the Drum Tracks app help me get better at what I'm not good at.
Good.
Which is hand and foot combos, expanding creativity, and being clean.
Yeah. Sometimes we all need a little inspiration. Sometimes learning a new chop, learning a new pattern will unlock some things for you.
That part. Kenneth Richardson says the app helps him a lot. And Blake the Great quotes the elder Allen Iverson, practice. You talking about practice? What are we talking about? Not a game.
We talking about practice?
We talking about practice.
Yeah.
Not this game that I live and die for. We talking about practice. Yeah, we veer off because, I mean, it's all one thing. It all comes back full circle.
Yeah.
When you we're trying to get yourself out there, you're trying to move, you're trying to be more respected in the area that you're in. And sometimes it may mean you have to move to get what you want. But even in that, you got to practice to be good. Number one.
Yeah, you got to being good is a part of it. So I'm talking to the guys that are really already good. But
Okay,
then
so
you're
then-
saying, hey, nobody who's on our live is good.
Bro,
That's what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
they're not good. I'm saying they're not practicing.
Okay.
And then on top of that, practice goes beyond just the drumming part aspect of it. So it's like if you want to put your stuff out there, you have to learn and practice how to put your stuff out there. Because there was
Absolutely.
times where we recorded and the whole video went trash because the floor tom mic was cut off.
Correct.
Or there's a time we put a video up and then for some reason when we uploaded it, it was real staticky. That was all trash. All of that was practice. We had to practice recording.
Yes.
We had to practice cutting the cameras on. We had to practice lighting techniques and all of these things. Where it's like, yo, if you don't practice this stuff,
You're not going to get good.
you're not gonna.
You got to earn everything. But the point in saying that, when I was saying it in the beginning, that you can't be entitled, you have to understand that you don't deserve anything. And you have to understand that, if you're not where you want to be, it's your fault. The reason why that's empowering, the reason why that works is because if it's your fault that you're not where you want to be, that means you have the power to change it. If you're not getting paid what you want as a drummer,
You got to go back there. You said if it's your fault that you're not where you want to be.
Correct.
It's your fault.
That's my point.
Oh, okay. I was like,
But my
somebody might
point.
go, it's not my fault.
No, I
It's
said
your
you
fault.
have to realize what I just said was if you're not where you want to be, it's your fault.
Mm.
And if it's your fault,
Which it is.
then that means you have the power to change it.
Ah.
And that's what I'm saying. So if your band is not able to, if the clubs you go to are not willing to pay your band $1,000 to play with your 3-piece band, and they want to give you guys $150 to split to play for 3 hours,
Brother, you're not bringing no fans.
you're not bringing any fans. That's why.
Period.
The game with the venues is simple.
Who are you?
You have to bring value, and you want the venue owner to hire you, but you're not bringing him anything.
Because he doesn't care about music, and he doesn't care that the lick you played was really raw.
It's actually irrelevant. You're trying to.
He cares about money.
You're literally trying to buy food with your socks, and they don't want your socks.
I was not. I didn't know where. I thought you was going somewhere else. When he said,
No, I'm saying
trying
when
to
you
buy
come
food
in
with
and say,
socks.
"Well, we're good,
they don't
pay
care.
us," they're like, "Well, we're selling food for money, and you're trying to give me your socks."
Yeah.
I don't
Pay
want
us
your
'cause
socks.
we're really good. Hey, listen. They're like, pay us because we're letting you play here.
Right? They're
That's what it
like,
is.
"Hey, we need this to be an even thing. If you can't be the one that makes money and we don't, so you got to bring some value." Some people will hire you because they're like, "Hey, we think that it's an investment on our end to hire a band so that our people who already come here will enjoy it and they'll stay longer to hear a good band that's playing in the background or whatever the case is." But if you actually have fans and you walk in and say, "Hey, look, I know your space fills up 300 people in here. It's the capacity. I can get 300 people in here, or I can get 100 people in here, guaranteed."
Mm-hmm. Every time I show up,
Every time I show up, there's going to be 100 people here. I'll play for an hour and a half. They'll buy drinks and they'll eat because that's what people do when they go to places like this.
That part.
Those guys are going to give you. They're going to be like, "You know what? We made, I don't know, $7,000 at $10,000 in that hour. We made whatever we made in that hour. Yeah, we could pay this guy $500, or we could pay his band $1,000
That part.
if we're doing." You see what I'm saying? But you're bringing in value, but you can't come taking more than you're giving, bro. That's the thing. You can't take more than you give. It doesn't work.
Hey man, listen, just quit. Just quit.
you're
Stop.
you're so pessimistic, bro.
Brody, it's such a grind. It's such a grind. It is almost like trying to enter the NFL or the NBA. You got to work ridiculously hard. I mean, you got to be the top dog, and those people still get cut.
Yeah.
I'm talking people that average 40 in high school,
Yeah.
35 in college. You're not good enough.
Right, but we never talk about the people who are playing overseas. We don't talk about the people who are playing in the D League or playing in Mexico's
Because
basketball
the G
league.
League is.
Well, I'm saying though, there's people who are getting paid to play basketball in Mexico, professional athletes. There are people who are getting paid in Canada to play football. Nobody's talking about it. You see what I'm saying? They got basketball leagues all over Europe. You see what I'm saying? And in Asia.
Because those people are doing the work.
But I'm saying though, just because you don't make it to the NBA, don't mean that you can't make money playing hoop.
So
my point is
it's
though,
almost like.
right? No, but my point is this.
So they're not going to play for Katy Perry.
Right. You may not play for Katy Perry,
But they're
that
also
doesn't
not going to be at SF Jazz though. Because they're not doing the work to even do that, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not doing that, and you know it.
Listen to what I'm saying though. My point is that they can. My
can't.
point is that we know that 90% of the people listening are not going to do what we're saying. But my point is oh my God, bro. My guy has no hope for any of you.
Zero.
But what I'm saying is you can. And to me, if one of you guys do it, that's why I'm saying this.
Listen, they're not even going to play Ace of Spades.
They could though.
They're not going to.
They put in the work to get better. If it's what they wanted.
If
You gotta want it. We know. And
It
we
ain't in your
know
heart.
that you believe it ain't in their heart. I know.
you don't want, that's going to be a whole podcast. You don't want it. And it's okay. Just don't lie to me about it. Okay? Don't lie to yourself. That's fine. You could lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me, bro. Don't lie to my face. It's a waste of time. You don't really want to do the work. There's a lot of work
But I
that
think
goes
that
into everything that you
right.
do.
But I think that there's like 2 or 3 people out there that if we told them what the work is, they'll actually do it.
I mean, the Bible does says where 2 or 3 are
My
gathered.
God, on today, I feel his presence in this place.
That's all that's needed. A Trinity. It's quiet in this place. That's what I told old girl. Where 2 or 3
Wow.
are gathered. My God, we shall
There-
touch and agree. Oh my God! On today, what's the pastor that's doing God's work? What's his name? He showed me the video. Oh, she knows.
Pastor Wilson.
Pastor Wilson out here doing the Lord's work. Speaking
Oh,
life.
Ah.
Out of both. All right, let's get
Listen,
some more.
yeah,
topics.
don't Twitter that. Anyway, don't do
That's it for this podcast, good people.
Yeah, hey, let's see if we got any questions. We got to
None.
run through them real quick. Oh, none?
I don't think so. Christopher Fields says, if the people are not inspired by Drum Tracks app, they aren't alive. And Blake the Great says that point right there.
JJ McGee says, y'all are the drum version of Riley and Huey. Oh, because it's on his shirt.
Oh, you know what it is. Brand new joint. You feel me?
Oh, man.
You know what it is out here.
Emmanuel Eugene says some of us do sticks for real. Practice. Look, see, there's some
I
people.
know, 2%. I was, 2%.
Let's talk to them.
I'm talking to them.
No, you talking to everybody else.
I'm talking
who you
to
feel
the
like
2%.
can't is not gonna practice. But I'm saying it for those who will. We know everybody's not
I'm
gonna
saying
do
the
it.
2% quit as well. Just let it go, man. It's
Wow.
a struggle.
This guy.
It's constant. The better you get, the more you suck. That's just the way it is. If you increase your skills at, okay, I'm working on
It's like another way of saying the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
that part.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like I'm working on speed, and it's getting really good, getting really fast, getting clean, yada yada yada, and then your groove suffers a little bit. Then you start working on groove, and you're like, oh, but my independence is suffering. So you start working on independence, and then your right foot is suffering because you're more focused on your left foot. It's just like,
See, but this is why you have to keep in the front of your mind why you're actually practicing. You're not practicing just to say that I'm good. This is not an ego game where we're sitting here just being like, I'm trying to be the best in the world. It's not about that.
That's what they say though.
It's not what it's about. Listen, we know.
People say they want
We
to catch
know
Ronald Bruner.
Huh?
People say they want to catch Ronald Bruner all the time. They want to play like him.
I mean, there's nothing wrong wanting to be inspired by and wanting to play like that. But you have to understand why you're trying to do that.
But you also understand that man was practicing
Yes.
his tail off.
Yes. Like all the other greats.
Like all the other greats.
Yeah. Listen, there's no road or shortcut or any way around the work. You will have to do the work.
I saw a comment on Instagram yesterday. Some dude was playing Dudes Raw. I forget his name. I think it's Tucson. He was playing a bump on Instagram. The arrangement was killing. He's smashing, right? Somebody in the comment section goes, "Bro, how do you flam tap like that in the middle? In the middle of the bump, whatever lick he was doing." He went practice. Like, there's no rocket science to it, right? I kept flam tapping until it felt good and it made sense when I played it.
Yes.
During the bump. Practice it slow, speed it
Yeah.
up, yada yada yada, whatever method you take, bro. But the end all be all answer is just practicing, just doing the work. How did you get good at riding a bike? You rode a bike. How did you get good at skateboarding?
Yeah.
You skateboard.
Right, but I think the getting to the level that they want to get to at the drums has a higher cost to pay than it does to learn how to ride a bike. It's the same. It's the same principle of what you need to do to get good at anything, but the cost is high.
Right.
Just like for those people who want to get paid more as a musician, the cost to get there is higher.
Which is why I said quit life, because it's going to cost you your life. It makes sense if you don't think about it.
So this is what I'm saying though, because you make it seem like there's no hope.
There isn't.
Right. That's your problem. What
No,
I'm
it's not.
saying,
I'm good.
what I'm saying is if you understand how hard it is, if you understand the long game and how patient you have to be and become okay with the work. Matter of fact, you actually want to make your goals the work.
We had a whole podcast on that.
So when you do that, then you win the game, because there is no losing. And the game you won the game because you fell in love with the work. And that's just the way it
We
goes.
did a whole podcast on it. So listen, you keep inspiring the 2%, and I'm gonna tell the 98. Let it go. It's over, bro. We didn't make it. Okay.
All right, y'all. We're gonna end the podcast.
Wait. Check Facebook. See if there's anything.
One more check here. It says the grind is real, and we're still watching this podcast where you tell us to quit, and we will watch the next one.
A couple people said what you said. Oh, Christopher Fields says it's been said before. Most people don't know what they want.
Bro.
What?
JJ McGee said that's a Pastor Wilson quote too. The better you get, the more you suck.
Oh yeah, I say, glory. Pun intended.
Oh, Auntie Sheila says exactly sticks. It's all worth the effort, though.
What he
She
say?
says she's in the shed, new stuff each week. That's what's up.
Jazz the
Keep
drummer
getting it.
says, "You're right, Sticks. Gonna stab myself in the eye."
With my stick. See, this is the problem. This is what you're encouraging these people to do.
Brody, don't quit life, man. I don't want no one putting no sign up saying this is why I did it, because it sticks. Blake the Great says people make it hard for themselves to play the simple stuff. Just take it slow in practice. That's what it is.
Really,
But you just said that. You said it's about the long game, even in practice. It's about taking your time.
You gotta listen. There's one video that I'm practicing right now, and this is on keys. On the drums, I'm really, when I practice the drums, I'm doing like the shed camp stuff because it really is good, and I stand by.
Where can they get access to the shed camp?
On the Drum Tracks app.
Oh,
I gotta say that workout, because Sticks wrote that whole workout, all the videos, phenomenal. You will get better. I still do it because I still get better when I use it. Now, I'm practicing a video right now with the on piano, on keys, right? Because y'all know I play more than one instrument. And it's literally one video that I saw by this girl named Nari Soul, this Asian bro. If you watch her videos, she is phenomenal.
Okay.
And what she's breaking down is phenomenal. One video,
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm giving myself 3 months. 3 months.
Sound like Johnny Costa, bro.
3 months. Well, no, because it's like it's just 2-5-1s. If you guys may not know what I'm talking about. It's for piano players. It's in music. They're 2-5-1s, but the way she's doing these and going up and down the piano, she has like 4 or 5 different exercises.
It's like for drummers, it would be like paradiddles. There's so many different. There's flam paradiddles, there's triple paradiddles,
right,
there's double paradiddles.
And I'm working on these, and plus I'm doing them in like all 12 keys. So I'm working on these. I worked on the first one for like a month, and I'm still not up to the speed that she was doing it at. Mm-hmm. I can play all of them, like maybe 3/4 of the speed that she was doing it, but I can't do it at the speed that she was doing it. So I haven't even gone to number 2 yet, and I want to go to number 2 really bad because I'm sick and tired of playing number 1. I'm sick and tired of playing it. I'm playing it on all 12 keys, but I'm tired of playing it. But I know that I don't have it where it needs to be yet, so I haven't gone on yet. So what I might do is spend 10 minutes with number 2, but I'm still practicing number 1.
Oh, so that is a perfect segue into this statement that I used to tell my students all the time. Well, some of my students still to this day, I tell them, practice this until you hate it, until you are sick and tired of it.
Oh my God.
When you are sick and tired of it, you probably have it mastered. You probably do and don't know it yet because you don't have anyone to tell you, hey man, that's pretty solid. But you need to practice and work on the stuff that you're not good at until you can't stand it anymore. You see a comment?
Yeah, Dorama says the only thing I struggle with practicing is singles on the kick. I'm a big guy and my leg is heavy. It's hard to see results.
Well, you're a big guy. Your leg is heavy.
Right, but I don't know if I'm as big as he is. He may be much bigger than me. If you're my size, and my leg doesn't feel heavy.
Eric never felt heavy when he was 400 pounds.
He was still 500 pounds.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
that was 4.
It was like 5.
Wow. But then again, he's an exception, not the rule.
Yeah,
I don't know too many big people 500 pounds that was moving that fast.
All the guys in the NFL. But anyway, so no, they weren't that big. But those guys. Have you ever seen someone 350 pounds running like a 4.6 40?
That's why
it's scary, bro.
That's why people can get killed.
That's scary
in the NFL, right?
It's like getting hit by a semi truck going 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, bro. Football wasn't.
You didn't make it.
Football wasn't for me.
Yeah. It don't matter how fast you ran.
Bro, that part.
Okay, yo, we out of time, y'all. We're gonna have to get y'all on the next one. We'll talk about this more.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who joined in. Hashtag all the way through.
Wait, Dorama the drummer says he's 5'10", but he has a big build. I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". Right now I'm about 280 pounds, and my leg doesn't feel heavy. Hopefully by February or something, I'll be around 260. That's the goal.
Okay.
But anyway.
Hashtag all the way through in the comment section, not in the live chat. Please like, share, comment on what you think you want us to talk about next. I mean, of course, we're going to keep coming up with our own topics, but
right. Real quick, someone asked what's Bajan Alpha 4? Okay. What section of your website would you recommend to a CCM drummer trying to get better? Why are you laughing, bro? What is so funny to you?
You don't need to practice CCM.
She says, stay off the CCM. He asked what section of the website, but it's not the website, it's the app. All the lessons are on the app. You want to check that out?
For a CCM drummer,
Sam Campbell says the whole website,
the
whole app.
We know that. For number one, you want to start with the shed camp to build up your speed to be able to play the things that you learn. Second, the groove guide. I mean, not the groove guide. The groove section. The ghost. It's going to help you with your feel.
All the ghost notes
but the
lessons.
ghost note lessons 1 through 10.
Taught by your boy.
Stop. The ghost notes. There's 10 of those in the groove section. Of course, the whole groove section.
Right.
Yes, but if you're going to start anywhere in the groove section, start with the ghost notes, because in CCM it's a lot of time grooves, number one.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of just straight grooves.
Yep.
And so it'll be a little bit boring to just play boom cat all day long. You can add some ghost notes in there, and they won't consider you out of the pocket. They won't consider you messing up the feel of the music. So, ghost note grooves 1 through 10.
That part, leave that boom cat at the CCM church where you found it. No, but
music is so. There's some time grooves. We got time grooves in there too. We got time grooves in the groove section. So
for sure. JJ McGee, he says he laughed. He's laughing at you. Emmanuel Eugene says shout out from the FWI. By the way, I don't know where that is.
What's FWI?
I don't know.
Fort Worth.
I don't know what the I stands for.
I don't know what the I is.
And they usually say for Dallas Fort Worth, isn't that DTF or that's just the airport?
No, that's down.
DFW. My bad.
DTF is like down. Oh, never mind.
DFW is the airport tag for Dallas Fort Worth. And then there's the Love Field, and that's DAL. Anyway, all right. We about to see you guys on the next one. Peace out to Facebook first.
Y'all know what it is.
2 p.m. on Thursday. Oh, he said French West Indies. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Shout out, fam.
French West
Indies.
Yeah,
shout out. Appreciate you, fam. Keep
Thank
getting the
y'all for
work
tuning
in. We'll catch you guys later on
Monday.
Wait, no, Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna peace out to you two first, actually. Peace.
Deuces, Magooses.
You know what it is.